Carlos Correa was the youngest player entering the 2012 draft, but that did not matter, with many predicting that Correa, a 17-year-old, would be a top 10 pick. He ended up being a top 1 pick, getting drafted by the Houston Astros with the first overall pick of the 2012 draft, and with that, his professional career began. Correa would go on to make his major league debut in 2015, win Rookie of the Year, become a multiple-time All-Star, and a World Series champion in the span of 3 years. He was then caught up in arguably baseball's worst scandal in history, has been a villain ever since, and now may not only be earning his respect back, but is someone that many fans of other teams want on their team. Take a second to like this video, and if you're new to the channel and end up enjoying this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button for future baseball content. Carlos Correa was always expected to be a star, but it's always a pleasant surprise when someone in your organization wins Rookie of the Year, no matter how much expectations you had for them. In 2015, Correa's first full major league season at just age 20, he hit .279 with an .857 OPS in 99 games, swatting 22 home runs while stealing 14 bases. Correa played a big part in getting Houston to the postseason for the first time in a decade, as they'd go on to beat the Yankees in the wildcard game in New York, falling to the eventual World Series champion Kansas City Royals in the American League Division Series. This certainly wasn't just some cute little run, though. The following year, 2016, the Astros missed the playoffs, but Correa still showed what he could do, hitting .274 with an .811 OPS in 153 games. 2017 then came along, and this was the beginning of the Houston Astros becoming a more well-known team, in large part because of Correa. Correa couldn't have been any better to start the 2017 season. He won American League Player of the Month from May, batting .386, hitting 8 doubles, 7 home runs, and driving in 26 runs to go along with a 1,130 OPS. He went on to make the All-Star team in Miami for the first time in his career, and everything was going well for the Astros shortstop. That is until he had to sit out for weeks due to a torn ligament in his left thumb, not playing from July 18th until September 3rd. The Astros were a much better team than the previous year, winning over 100 games and going on to win the World Series, with Correa being a big factor. He had a down year in 2018, bounced back in a big way in 2019, but was only able to play 75 games due to injuries. And then all hell broke loose, as arguably the biggest scandal in baseball history came to light: the fact that the Houston Astros were illegally stealing signs to gain an advantage during the 2017 season, including the postseason, the year they won it all. As for the way Correa handled the outrage, let's just say it was a mess. He did admit what happened was wrong and how the team should have never done what they did, but he also said some things that painted him out to be the bad guy, being the most vocal critic of the Astros haters. Lots of players and athletes spoke out on the matter, including Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, and even LeBron James. But what really got under Correa's skin was what Dodgers MVP Cody Bellinger said. Bellinger made it clear that he lost all respect for the Astros players and felt Jose Altuve stole the MVP award from Aaron Judge in 2017. In an interview with Ken Rosenthal at spring training, this is what Correa said in response.
You should get informed. You should be informed before you talk about other players. If you don't know the facts, then you gotta shut the
Carlos Correa and his teammates were public enemy number one, and maybe it got to Correa because in the eventual shortened 60-game pandemic 2020 season, he had the worst year of his career, hitting to an OPS right around 700. The problem with Correa so far in his career as far as his production value goes is his ability to stay on the field. In 2016, Correa missed just 9 games. I shouldn't count 2015 as a year he played only so many games considering he made his debut in the middle of the season, but other than 2015 and 16, the most games he's played in a season was 110 leading into 2021. As of 2021, he's been mostly healthy and is on track to play the vast majority of his team's games. He made his second career All-Star game this year, although he and his teammates opted out, and has overall had a very strong year with the Astros this season. He's only 26 years old, plays solid defense, and has a good bat. But there now lies a problem with the Astros, which is the fact that Correa becomes a free agent after this season. As for the likelihood of him staying, don't count on it, as Correa himself has even admitted that this is his last year in Houston. In a recent interview with The Athletic, this is what Correa had to say, quote, "My last year with the Astros. Hopefully we can win another championship and I can leave this great organization with 2 of them." End quote. So now begs the question, why is Correa leaving this team? I'll give you the answer: money reasons. Before the 2020 2021 season, Correa and the Astros were discussing a potential contract extension, with the Astros offering him a 6-year deal worth $120 million and a 5-year deal worth $125 million. He of course declined it, and it seems as if the Astros aren't going to change their offer. This upcoming free agent class is loaded with shortstops: Trevor Story, Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Javier Baez, and of course Carlos Correa. Correa most likely believes that he can get better money outside of Houston, and he's probably right. Although he's had injury issues in the past and hasn't necessarily been the game's best and most proven hitting shortstop, he's still only 26 years old and has shown that he's capable of doing great things. As for the cheating situation, teams don't care about that. It wasn't any horrible off the field situation. It happened and it's over with. If you can help a team win a championship, ownerships and front offices of said teams will sign you. As for the fans, that's a little bit of a different story. Many fans are probably not wanting to have Correa on their team. At least that was the case when the cheating scandal dropped. But now, it's different. Correa may have been one of, if not baseball's biggest villain for a time, but there are plenty of fan bases that want him on their team. Sure, they don't like his involvement with the cheating, but like I said, it happened and it's over with. And honestly, Correa may be starting to become a well-liked player again. I can't speak for everyone when I say that, but there are multiple fan bases who would mostly welcome Correa to their team with open arms. The big team that has been linked to Correa is the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers have been bad for a while now, and haven't made the postseason since before Correa made his major league debut. With that being said, the future has suddenly started to look bright in Detroit, as a winning season for the Tigers is looking closer and closer to happening. Signing a guy like Correa to be their everyday shortstop for years to come would certainly help with that. Sure, they might overpay, and there are other things the Tigers front office has to work on to improve the team, but adding Correa doesn't necessarily seem like a horrible idea. I'm sure the front office would love to do it, and the fans seem to really be open to the idea. It will be interesting to see where he ends up, but there's one thing for sure, which is that Carlos Correa is certain that he won't be in a Houston Astros uniform for much longer. He used to be loved, to arguably baseball's most hated figure, to possibly back to being more well-liked, and someone who is planning to switch teams. Let me know if you think Carlos Correa is baseball's biggest villain, if he isn't anymore, where you think he'll end up this offseason, and thank you for watching.